Meeting. Kind of nice this morning, I guess. Nobody had to venture out on the roads. So we'll get our meeting started. I'll call the meeting to order. Has everybody had a chance to review the agenda? Is there any additions or correct to the agenda? Okay, if seeing none, then I'll call for a motion to approve the agenda. Moved by Deb. Do you want to move that?
Yes, I will.
And seconded by Diana. Do you want to second that?
Sure.
Okay, moved by Diana, moved by Deb, seconded by Diana. All in favor? Can't quite see everybody, but I guess that's carried. Okay, moving on. Is there any declarations of pecuniary interest for any of the items on the agenda?
No.
Doesn't appear to be any, so we'll move on to the minutes. Has everybody had a chance to read the minutes?
Yes.
Yes.
Any
Yes.
questions or omissions or any corrections or anything with the minutes?
No.
No, they appeared to be in order.
Okay, I'll call for a motion then for the adoption of the December 1st, 2021 minutes. Moved by?
I can do that.
Moved
Brenda.
by, seconded by? Bert, do you want to second that? I guess we can't connect with Bert, eh?
Bert says yes.
Oh, Bert
I
says yes.
can hear him.
Okay,
I can hear him. He's just, Simon's over there to check that. I'm not sure if it's a mute button, but Bert does second that.
good. Okay, so,
You have to get the arrow down there, okay?
oh, there's Bert. So removed by Brenda, seconded by Bert. Okay. That the minutes from the December 1st, 2021 meeting be adopted or be approved. All in favor?
Yay.
Everybody? Okay, thank you. That's probably easier to just say yay. It's hard to see everybody. Okay. Any business arising from the minutes?
No.
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 Oh, okay. Then I guess we'll move on to the reports. 2.1 residence report. Diana, do you have anything to report?
I was wondering, have they fixed the light in the parking lot yet? It's pretty dark in there because there's a light out on Havelock also. So it makes the parking lot very dark. And that was the only thing, other than they're doing a superb job on the snow and ice this year, really, really well.
Well, that's good to hear.
And that's everything I've got.
I can comment on the lights. I was informed that Gables have been contacted and they will be fixing all of the light issues. There are a few light issues there, the one in the parking lot, one or two by the townhomes that seem to be the sensors are off. The lights seem to stay on. And then I think that other light as well. So they should be coming within the next week or so and fixing all of the lights there.
Oh, good. Thank you.
If I can maybe jump in, just with regards to snow removal, that's nice to hear. We've had some concerns from residents in the suites that a lot of the snow is being piled in front of their area, their areas, and it's not that there's a problem as far as access for emergencies. They can still leave. It's just that they find that they're on the first floor. They're living in a bit of a hole, looking out and seeing the piles of snow. So I know that Steve Wolf, who I can talk about in a minute, was following up with Fletcher's to see about knocking down some of the taller piles or moving some of the piles to a different location.
It's the same every year.
Well, you know, what's interesting is it was a relatively new resident that commented on it. I don't think she's lived there for a winter yet. So I think that may be what the issue is.
Okay. Thank you. That's all I have to report.
Okay. And I guess since Carol's not here, she won't have a report. She didn't submit anything or? Okay, so we'll move on to 2.2 operations report from Nicole.
Nothing really earth-shattering to report here. We're still only providing the essential services due to COVID-19, so cleaning, maintenance, fire alarm tests, that sort of thing. Still no rentals in the common room. Activities were put on hold from January 5th until the 30th of January from the provincial orders that were in place. But effective this past Monday, January 31st, we are allowing activities to resume as long as they stick with the 10-person maximum for the gatherings indoors. Most of their activities, they don't get up to 10 people, so it shouldn't be a problem. The one activity that is very popular is the coffee hour. So coffee hour is not allowed, unfortunately, at this time. Hopefully, when we're able to move to the next step, which could possibly be February 21st, we won't know until closer to that date when they'll move up to, I believe it's 25 people for indoor gatherings. Then they may be able to resume the coffee time. I know I've had a few residents comment that they really, really miss the coffee time. So we are wanting to allow it as soon as it's safe to do so. The townhomes, they received a reminder notice about the parking that was discussed at the last meeting. Just a reminder to have only as many vehicles as the driveway will allow, and that extra vehicles could park in the parking lot. And just to avoid congestion on Leisure Lane and keep it safe there. All units are still full, and we still have that waiting list for when a unit does become available. That is everything. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Nicole. Has anybody got any questions for Nicole regarding her report?
No, but Lois, I'm wondering if I can speak to some staff changes at this point. We've done a restructuring of our facilities department, and what that has, how that will affect Perth Meadows is Steve Wolf is the foreperson for non-recreational facilities. And Steve's office location is in Perth Meadows. So that should be a welcome addition for residents if they have a concern, as they've got a person there to talk to. More so than when we just had Nicole there on the one afternoon. So that's kind of a nice addition to have him, and he's got a maintenance background as well. And Steve will be working on special projects. One that may affect Perth Meadows is the repaving of driveways. If that gets passed by council, that would be a capital project that Steve would be overseeing as well. So that's just some changes that I think will benefit Perth Meadows.
So does this mean, Nicole, you won't be going to Perth Meadows at all now then?
I'll still do my regular office time there on Tuesdays from 1 o'clock till 2 o'clock. If Steve is in the office, then I can set up shop in the common room or just in another spot. If he's not there, then I can utilize that space and I can still be there to answer questions and to do the calendars. I'm still at this point doing the fire testing. That was something we discussed. Not sure if that's going to be switched over to Steve at some point, but I'm going to continue to do that and the other duties that I was doing there. So it's extra service and staff available for Perth Meadows residents. So Steve did say Monday, I think he had 4 of the residents come and speak to him about issues. So I think they really liked having someone there too. I'm sure they'll get used to him being there more regularly, and it'll hopefully just work out well for everyone.
Yeah, I think that will be a nice addition, having somebody there a little bit more. So if there is an issue, they can just go to him. And I know he won't be there all of the time, but a little bit more than we were before. So that's good. That's great. That's good to hear. I do have a question that I need to ask for Terry Seiler for about the capital budget, but I'll wait maybe till we get to the budget to address that. Okay, so moving on, I guess we'll go to the financial reports, and Jeff, I guess you're going to present the financials and the budget.
That's right. So I think everyone received the budget information, and so I just wanted to highlight some of the changes that we've made. With regards to the townhomes, we've upped the repairs and maintenance for air conditioning and heating from 5,000 to 7,000. And similarly, repairs and maintenance, we've upped from 4,000 to 7,000. That's just a reflection of anticipated more maintenance concerns as the buildings grow older. So we thought it was important for us to reflect that, given some of the actual numbers that we had before. So we've increased that slightly for the townhomes. If you look at the repairs and maintenance for the suites, so I don't know what's the best way to get you there, but it's 09, 10, 20, 4,300 is the number that we're looking at. The repairs and maintenance miscellaneous, that's been up to 25,000. And what we did is we took the account or the line item below that, repair and maintenance, air conditioning and heating, and we've combined those twos just under repair and maintenance miscellaneous. So you'll see that that number is 25,000. That is a reflection of things like washers, dryers, items that we're anticipating their life expectancy is coming to an end. So we increase the budget and combine those two numbers there. I think that's all that I wanted to report on as far as the changes. Fran is here as well. And I didn't know, Fran, if you wanted to add to anything that I had said.
No, I feel that you sort of covered off a lot of things there. Just as since I have the floor here, going forward, we've changed all our GL accounts. So at some point, your next report will look quite different. And Jeff's well versed in it, though. In fact, he's probably our shining star in the new GLs. But it will take the committee members a bit of time to get used to the new GLs that we have. So just as that's my only warning, it's going to be tricky for all of us. Yeah.
Thanks for the compliment, Fran. I was just having a drink of water when you said that and it almost came out my nose. So thanks. Appreciate that.
Does anybody have any questions for Jeff or Fran on the operating budget?
No.
Okay, so I guess we'll have to accept that budget then. We'll have to have a motion to approve the budget as presented by Jeff. Do I have somebody to move that motion?
I'll do that, Lois. It's Deb.
Moved by Deb, seconded by?
I'll second it. It's Brenda.
Seconded by Brenda. All in favor?
Yay.
Okay, great. Thanks for that. Okay, so that's approved. I just have a question. I know the capital budget isn't really being presented at this point, but I understand that it has been presented to council for Perth Meadows. Did you want to speak to that at all now, Jeff, or no?
I think I don't have the document up in front of me right now, but as far as Perth Meadows, we had set aside, or there was a request made to set aside money for the driveway paving. And that was the only capital budget item, if I recall correctly, that was related to Perth Meadows.
Okay, a question that Terry Seiler, because he couldn't be at the meeting today because he's working, he asked me to ask the question, where is the money coming from to pay for the paving of the driveways? Is it going to be charged back to the owners of the townhouses, or he just wondered how that was being handled?
Fran, can you speak to that as far as the history of how we've done some of these capital improvements in the past?
We do have reserve monies for this. we've tried to keep the reserve separate the townhomes from the suites. So we are doing a little bit of sharing with that right at the moment. And certainly Perth Meadows is carrying itself at this time, much to some concern out there that it's not, it is. But we will have to look at fees and rates in a more analytical way, I believe, with Jeff's help once we get by the pandemic. Some of the things that we'd like to discuss, we feel should be post-pandemic, just so that we're not making unnecessary alarms for people. So certainly we do have the money available for those. And I forget the amount, Jeff, but it was fairly reasonable. And certainly we can cover that from the reserves that we have on hand right at the moment. So that is not a concern at this time.
That was the other question that Terry had. He wondered if you had any quotes or prices for the repaving of the driveways, or if we still have to do that.
Yes, so Terry was good. He gave me a name of a potential contractor that could give us an estimate, and based on the scope of the work that needed to be done, he provided a quote, and that's the quote was based on what we submitted to council. I'm just going to see if I can pull that up just to give you an actual number. So just bear with me here. We thought it was pretty reasonable, and I think because it was just an initial spec list is what they came up with. We haven't put it out to tender, so the price may actually come down once there's a competitive process for people to bid on it. We put in $40,000 was the amount for the driveway resurfacing. And it's not just a coating, it's removing what's currently there and replacing it with a good foundation and then a new top coat of pavement.
That doesn't sound too bad.
In fact, if I might interject here, if the committee is satisfied with that, I would suggest that you entertain a motion to that effect. We've talked about those driveways for some time, but never got a good estimate. So if the committee's comfortable, I'd ask that they would also support that capital project for 2022 with that budget estimate.
That was my next question, Fran. I wondered if you would need a budget approval from them.
Sorry, Lois.
No, that's great. I'm glad that you brought that up, because I wondered if we would have to pass a motion to approve that. So does somebody want to make a motion to approve forward with the
I wanted to interrupt.
Oh, sorry, Bert. You have a question?
And that was the process. I didn't know if it should have come to us before council so that we can make a recommendation to them, or whether it should go first to them and they're making a recommendation to us.
Go to you first, but forgive us. This year we weren't accustomed to having a facilities manager, and so we kind of got the cart before the horse, and we'll make sure that that doesn't happen again. In fact, because we had the rates passed early this year, Perth Meadows, we normally would have been at you earlier for a whole budget, but we kind of, and that's my fault, it slipped between the cracks here. But Jeff will have that right on track going forward, so that all of Perth Meadows operating and capital budget will be done before it goes to council in future. That's how we used to do it. We just got ourselves mixed up this year a bit, Bert, with the transition, and my apologies.
Yes, my main concern is the transparency of it for the people that own those units. And that is that they have some opportunity of input into an expenditure and an improvement like this.
May I speak? A lot of the people here would really like new driveways. I've talked to a lot of people and they're not happy with their driveways with water pooling and ruts and things. But they would really like to know. Is it my job to inform them?
I
You are-
think, yeah, sorry. Yeah. That could come down to the committee too, how you'd like to circulate a newsletter, or in their contracts, there is something saying that we would circulate the budget once it's passed. So it's not specific as to whether it's just whether the committee passes it or whether the council passes it. So I think that's at your discretion, but if you'd like to do it after today, that would be something that the committee could circulate the budget and maybe a newsletter. Sometimes we used to, Lois, you know all this, we used to have sort of things that were happening because the committee would organize some events from time to time. So a newsletter might be something that you might want to continue, but certainly this is all at the committee's discretion.
Yeah, that might be a good idea going forward, is to have a newsletter, just especially maybe at the start of the year, to inform them about the budget and any capital items that are being considered. We probably won't have final figures, but just to let them know the process and what's going on. I think that's a good idea.
I think it's an excellent idea. It'll be accurate and I'm sure well done.
I agree. I think a newsletter is appropriate too, Diana. That way everybody's getting exactly the same information.
Mhm. Good.
We'll just figure out who does the newsletter. But we'll figure that out. It probably could be done with me consulting with Nicole and Jeff on that, just to figure out exactly what needs to go in that newsletter.
Yes, I can assist with that for sure.
Okay, thanks. That was very good discussion, and thanks, Bert, for bringing that up. I had wondered the same thing, why it went to council first instead of the committee, but Fran was able to clarify that for us. So does anyone have any other questions about that capital budget with the paving of the driveways?
No.
Can I again ask for a motion then for that to approve going ahead with the repaving of the driveways in 2022, and based on an estimate of $40,000, but that we will be asking for, I'm not sure, is it tenders or is it just quotes?
So it would be because of the dollar value, it would be a tender that we would need to put out through the
Okay.
municipal procurement policy.
Okay, so that motion would read then based on inviting tenders to complete the project. Does anyone want to move that?
Can I move that?
Okay, moved by Diana, seconded by?
I'll second that.
Okay, seconded by Bert. All in favor?
Yay.
Okay. And we will look into that newsletter. Do you think that's something that you want us to put out now or in the near future?
I think if I could just mention that we should probably, I don't want to get people excited about a driveway replacement if it hasn't been, if it doesn't get passed. So I would like to hold off until we hear from council. At least, I mean, if there's a different newsletter content that needs to go out, that's fine as well. But with regards to the budget, I'd like to wait until it gets approved.
Good idea.
Okay, that sounds like a good idea. So we'll look into that as soon as council has approved that. Do you know when that's going to a council for approval, Jeff?
Fran, do you know what the date is that we finalize the budget on?
So on the 9th of February, we're taking a budget to council that is showing the impacts and that sort of thing. And if council's happy with that draft budget, it'll be then this year we can't do a public session. So, but we will be doing an online. Alan Rothwell, our chair, and Leanne Andreessen, our vice chair, will be doing a presentation. And then based on any input from the public, then that'll go to council to be finalized. So probably by the time that all goes through, it'll be another month before we're done. But after the 9th, though, I would feel comfortable in saying this is what council's draft budget looks like. And maybe that would be the time then, because it is in the public, to let your people know what has been presented and draft approved by council.
That would probably be a good idea. As you say, it's just so the public and the people at Perth Meadows know that it is in there and it has been, the draft has been approved, but it's still waiting final approval. So that might be a good time then to let them know.
And that's what we have on scheduled right at the moment. However, given our current circumstances, staff absences and etc., we're still, it might be a little iffy that we'll make that date, but let's hope that we're still planning to forge ahead with that. But if that does get canceled, we'll count on Nicole to let you know that's happened. But I hope not.
Sure, we can just wait till Nicole lets me know, and then as soon as we know that the draft budget has been approved, we can maybe proceed with putting something together at that point. Okay, thanks, Fran. Any other questions then? Or budget or anything? Okay. Moving forward to correspondence. See, there's none. There isn't anything, Nicole?
No correspondence this time.
Anybody got anything under other? One question I had, how did the DeVrieses respond to, after our last meeting, they had requested a wall kind of be put up there at his patio, and we suggested doing something temporary. Did you hear back from the DeVrieses on that?
I did not hear back from the DeVrieses. Any questions were to be directed to Jeff. Jeff, did they contact you at all?
Okay.
No, there was, I heard nothing from them.
Okay. Was just curious if they were agreeable to that or not, but we don't have to worry about it, I guess, for a few days. So no other comments or questions? Anyone?
No.
No,
Okay, see, you have nothing, Jeff, further that you want to comment on?
No, I just looking forward to the additional staff support there at Perth Meadows. I think that'll be a good move forward.
That will be nice, I think, a nice addition, yeah. You're still going to be the one that's attending our meetings, and Steve's just kind of the hands-on person?
That's right. Steve looks after all the non-rec facilities. So things like budget items, and I could share with him even minutes from this meeting so that he's up to speed with some of the stuff that the committee is doing as well. Maybe that's a useful thing to do.
Well, I'm sure knowing Steve, he'll do a great job for us, for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so since there's no other business, no further business, I guess we'll call for an adjournment. Does anybody want to move that we adjourn the meeting? Moved by
Brenda?
Brenda, seconded by
Johnson will second that.
Bert, that we adjourn the meeting at, I've got 9:32. I'm not sure if that's correct or not. And I guess we'll set up, do we want to set up the next meeting date?
Sure.
I made note of Wednesday, April 6th at 9 a.m. If that works for everyone, Terry Seiler did inquire about when the next meeting would be since he wasn't able to attend this. I said I had that meeting just jotted down and he confirmed it does work for him. He is off that day. So if that works for everyone, I would suggest we pencil that date in.
Okay.
Does that work for everyone else?
Works
Yes.
for me.
Yes.
Me,
As far as we know right now, anyway, that works for everybody. So we'll schedule the next meeting to be Wednesday, April 6, 2022 at 9 a.m. And I guess we'll have to see how things are at that point, whether it's in person or virtual. Let's hope it can be in person.
Let's hope so.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed is right. Okay, well, thanks everyone for attending virtually and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye now.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.